That down, let's move on to this, shall we? I became very intrigued when they announced that they were going to be doing a live action How to Train Your Dragon. Then they dropped a little while ago that tiny little short tease. And then they dropped a trailer for the trailer at Super Bowl. And today, the full trailer for How to Train Your Dragon has now dropped and it's online. Here are my thoughts. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I thought it was great. I remember, Chris, we had talked about, when we do eventually see the other dragons, do we think they're going to do them the way they were done in the animated thing? And I said, no, I think they'll probably make them more look traditional dragon. Nope. They totally took the design of those dragons and they made it delightful. And it was in the trailer for the trailer, but that one shot where the mega dragon comes out, like you felt the weight of it, right? Mm-hmm. Like you felt the scope of it and the weight of it. The heart jumps when he reaches out and touches him, when he's building the makeshift flap wing for Toothless, when he's just all the part of it. And he's like, that scene, by the way, in the trailer, when Gerard Butler, who I'm so glad is reprising the role of the dad, they've killed hundreds of them. We killed thousands of them. And it's like, what it reminded me a little bit of? Remember Ender's Game?
Yeah.
I remember the last scene of the movie when Harrison Ford is talking to Ender and it's like, well, we did this, but we did this, sort of thing. So it kind of reminded me a little bit of that.
I have a 4K steelbook of Ender's Game.
Yeah, I am not surprised, at all. But also what really got me was the music. I'm watching this trailer and that music plays bum, 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 as they're soaring through the clouds. And I felt the hair on my arms start to stand up. And I just think this is going to be wonderful. And, somebody wrote in the other day and they asked, what do you think is going to do better? Do you think How to Train Your Dragon is going to do better? Or do you think Lilo and Stitch is going to do better? I still stand by, I think Lilo and Stitch has the potential to be $1 billion film. We'll see. I still think Lilo and Stitch will do better, but I wouldn't doubt at all if How to Train Your Dragon is better. Doesn't do better, but is better. I love this trailer. I couldn't have been happier with it. Anyway, so I got a big kick out of it. We want to take a second to thank a sponsor of today's episode, NordVPN. All right, let's be real. There's nothing worse than wanting to stream your favorite show or watch a live game only to find out it's blocked in your country. But guess what? With NordVPN, that is never a problem. With just one click, you can switch your virtual location and access content from anywhere in the world. I have loved using NordVPN. Whether I'm traveling and using public Wi-Fi or just shopping online, NordVPN keeps my personal info safe and private. By switching my location, I can even save money on flights, hotels, and subscriptions. It's like a cheat code for getting the best deals. NordVPN is the fastest VPN in the world, so there's no buffering when I'm streaming. Plus, their threat protection feature blocks malware, trackers, and phishing attempts, keeping my devices safe 24/7. And with just one account, I can protect up to 10 devices, so my whole setup is covered. So to get the best discount on your NordVPN plan, head to nordvpn.com/John Campea, and our link will even give you 4 extra months for free on the 2-year plan. Plus, there's no risk with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee. Links in the description. Check it out now. Rob, you had a chance to see it. What did you think about the How to Train Your Dragon?
Dude, I too love the trailer. When he puts his hand up and turns away, you mentioned that, I kind of got choked up right there. I was like, I bought into this. I love the design of the dragons. I think it works specifically for this particular movie. I mean, if it looked like the Vermithrax pejorative from Dragon Slayer, it wouldn't work. Or Smaug, it wouldn't work. That would be a different movie. I liked all the actors. I liked seeing Gerard Butler. I loved seeing all of his facial hair. I love the effects look great. The tone of it looks great. I have only one criticism. And I was watching this movie and everybody's so clean cut and not dirty. I'm like, does everyone have razors? I mean, I know they're supposed to emulate the animated.
But they're children.
I know, but everyone is so fresh-faced and bushy-tailed, and everyone always looks freshly shorn and like they've got product in their hair. And I'm like, wait a minute, we got to dirty these people up. It's still like them,
That doesn't bother me as much though as like shows like Daisy Jones and the Six, where you're like, everyone has perfect teeth.
Yeah,
And it's
yeah.
the 1970s and y'all are doing the worst drugs.
Yeah, I totally.
Your
No,
noses and your mouths should be so messed up.
But no, I really like this trailer, and my enthusiasm for this movie, John, more than a trailer has taken my enthusiasm and made it go higher. It's definitely this is a first weekend movie for me.
Chris, so what about you? I know you've been very excited for this film. What did you think about the trailer now that we finally got it?
I think it's beautiful. I think breathtaking is the right word. It's so stunning. And I love that it is this reimagining of the dragons that we saw in the animated film and the consequential series that came from it too, and making it so they make sense in this world. This is CGI done right for me, where, okay, you still look fantastical. You still make the kind of original IP link make sense, but you seem to fit into this world that they've built. And I do like that it is a little whimsical, and we've got like the ridiculous facial hair and things like we had in the cartoon show as well.
Yeah.
I think it's lovely. And the shot you pointed out too, I love that is an absolute shot for shot from the original film too.
Right out of the movie.
Yeah.
Because that's one, and this is where I mentioned before my Super Bowl party, a couple people were like, it's just the same thing as the thing. You would want that shot. It's iconic. It's such an important moment. You want that to be exactly that moment.
Well, because of what it means, the humility there.
Exactly.
He touches and he realizes that's why I got chills, because I'm like, oh, it's
such a moment of vulnerability. Now, I am interested to see how else we defer as the movie goes on, because if it is just shot for shot of the animated film, I am going to be going, well, what was the why? Why did we want to do this? But from what I saw from that trailer, it is very exciting looking. And I also couldn't get over how much the actors sounded like the voice actors.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
It was wild.
But you know what? To that question, though, about if it ends up being kind of like a shot for shot, here's I was thinking about this morning. I don't know why this came up in my head, but just the medium change to me makes it a different experience. You know what I mean? Like, I can read a book, and then if the book gets translated onto the screen and it's almost like it's perfect to the book, it's still a completely different experience. And, to me, movies are experiential events. And so when I watch an animated version of something and then I watch a live action version, it's the same story, but it's a different experience. And I'm really curious to see how they can create that in the live, but I'm sure they're going to take some liberties.
Absolutely.
They're going to do some things different.
Yeah.
I got to ask you guys a philosophical question. We always bang on Disney live action remakes, and that's exactly what this is. It's a remake. It's not a Disney. By the way, I love the logo at the beginning that went from into the DreamWorks logo. That was so cool. But how is this different from, say, a Lilo and Stitch remake or a Snow White remake or a Lion King remake?
Question.
Isn't it kind of the same thing?
Here's the thing, though. None of us were. I don't think anybody became disenfranchised with the idea of Disney live action remakes until the track record ended up not being great.
Right. Yeah, it's true.
Then we got to the point of
Cinderella. I didn't even want it, and then I went and saw it.
Cinderella was great,
Yeah.
right? Cinderella was great. I personally liked the 2019 Lion King. Although that's still animated. And I didn't think Beauty and the Beast was terrible.
No, not at all.
But overall, their track record is spotty. They don't have a track record yet,
true.
right?
Yeah.
So that really becomes the difference.
And I do have to say, look, I love the animated movies, and as I've said, the 3D versions on physical media are great. But this there was something about this. I don't know if it was just a charm. It was what it got me. The scene with the girl, I forget her name. They're just talking,
Astrid.
and they're just talking back and forth. There's that quick exchange. It's also, I think, right out of the animated film. There was something about their two faces interacting. I'm like, I'm in. I believe this exchange between these two characters. And I was like, in a trailer, it's tough to buy into that. And they got me.
I had a question. What if this movie is a hit? Do they go on and remake the second one, or should they go and do a different story? I'm thinking different
Good
story.
question.
Well, it depends how much money it
Just
makes.
take this franchise to a different, make it its own after.
But
the
it's
first
a great question, Ray. But here's the thing. If part one works, they're going to go, we made a, say, $700 million film. I'm not saying it will make $700 million, but let's say it does.
Green light.
Because we did a fairly faithful adaptation of the first film. Well, it worked. Let's do a fairly faithful adaptation of the second one and see where that goes. So I think it's a great question, but I think if it works, I think they stay faithful.
Are they based on books or are they original IP?
I think it's original IP.
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure either.
And there was 3, right? There was
Yeah,
3
there
movies.
are
there
3,
was.
and they're great.
And they're all great.
So if they follow that track, they should go on and continue the story.
It is a book series.
It is. See, I never knew that. By the way, as
it
a
a cow?
trilogy, it is such. Do you guys remember the end of it?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
such a satisfying ending with Hiccup and Astrid and I believe their kids in a boat going off to visit. You know, it's like
gray hair.
this is such a great ending, such a satisfying, happy, beautifully wonderful ending. Which, by the way, I still remember when I saw the third one, I thought, you know, in 10 years they could make another one. Like, this is a great, satisfying ending, but even with this ending, they could make another one 10 or 15 years down the line. But
Well, it's so rare for us to see animated characters age and grow.
yeah,
You know, and we have that a little bit with like the Toy Story franchise of seeing Andy move on and things like that. But typically, things like The Incredibles, right? You go back to almost moments before, even though 10 years have passed in between movies. Animated characters tend to be kind of isolated and frozen in time,
Yeah.
which is magical, but it's also really cool to still have that growth and journey with these kinds of characters.
yeah,
as
because
well.
technically speaking, Bart Simpson should be going in for his first
Yeah.
colonoscopy.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's just, that's all he is now. Anyway, guys, question is for you. What did you think of the How to Train Your Dragon trailer? I don't think it's like the best trailer we've seen in the last year or so, but I thought it was absolutely wonderful. How are you feeling about it? Have your thoughts on the movie itself moved at all? Have you gotten more interested in it, less interested in it? Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.